Your phone just became your lifeline, not your entertainment, not your social feed, your survival tool. The power is out. The cell towers are running on backup. The internet is intermittent. You have no idea when the grid comes back, and every person within 5 miles is glued to their screen, burning through battery like it is infinite. Yours is at 68%. You have no charger, no power station, no car, just the phone in your hand, and 7 days until help arrives or the lights return. Or you can reach a charging point 40 miles away. Most people will be dark by day 2. Their phone will die because they did not know how it bleeds. They streamed, they scrolled. They left every radio on and every app running and the screen at full brightness. Because that is what they do every day. You are not most people. You know the physics. You know the hacks. You are going to make that 68% last a week. Here is how. 3 mechanisms of drain. Your battery dies from 3 things. Radios, computation, heat. Radios first. Your phone runs 5 radios. Cellular, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS, NFC. Each one burns milliamps every second searching for signal. When signal is weak, the phone cranks transmit power higher to reach the tower. Weak signal equals high drain. A phone hunting for cellular in a fringe area uses 3 times the power of a phone sitting in 5 bars. Computation. Second, every app running burns cycles. Every pixel. Lighting burns milliamps. Your screen is 30 to 50% of total drain. The processor is another 20 to 30%. Background apps, notifications, location updates, syncing, all of it adds up. Each task is small. Together they bleed you dry. Heat. Third, lithium batteries hate heat. Over 85 degrees Fahrenheit internal temperature, the chemistry degrades. Capacity drops. At 100 degrees you lose efficiency. At 120 you risk permanent damage or thermal runaway. Heat comes from computation, from charging, from sitting in the sun. Heat kills batteries faster than use. Control those 3 and you control your runtime. Ignore them and you are dead by day 3. Method 1. Kill the radios. Every radio you run is a vampire. Shut them down. Cellular stays on. You need it for emergency calls and texts, but switch to airplane mode when you are not actively using the phone. When you need to check messages or make a call, toggle airplane mode off. Send your texts. Make your call. Toggle airplane mode back on. You just went from continuous drain to drain on demand. Wi-Fi off unless you are connected. A phone. Scanning for Wi-Fi every 15 seconds burns power for nothing. If there is no network to join, turn it off. Settings. Wi-Fi off. Done. Bluetooth off. Unless you are actively using a headset or speaker, Bluetooth is waste. It pings constantly. Turn it off. GPS off. Location services are a killer. Every app that wants to know where you are hits the GPS chip. That chip talks to satellites. Satellites are 20,000 kilometers up. Your phone has to shout. Shouting burns watts. Settings. Privacy. Location services off. If you need navigation, turn it on for that task, then off again immediately. NFC off. Near-field communication, the thing that lets you tap to pay. You do not need it in a blackout. There is no point of sale. Turn it off. Settings. Connections. NFC off. Why it works. Radios transmit. Transmission requires power to push a signal through air or to listen for incoming signals. When you turn a radio off, the chipset goes to sleep. Sleep mode pulls microamps instead of milliamps. The difference over 7 days is 20–30% of your total capacity. Pro tip. Texts use less power than calls. Calls use less power than data. If you need to communicate, send a text. The phone transmits a tiny packet, waits for confirmation, then goes quiet. A call keeps the radio active at full power for the duration. Data streaming is continuous. Maximum draw. Prioritize text. Safety line. Keep cellular on airplane mode standby. Toggle it on twice a day, morning and evening. Check for messages from emergency services or family. Send your status. Toggle off. This keeps you reachable without burning continuous power. If someone needs you, they will try more than once. Method 2. Darkness and discipline. Your screen is the single biggest drain. Dim it. Shorten it. Control it. Brightness to minimum. Settings. Display. Brightness. Drag the slider to the left until it stops. Yes, it is dim. Yes, you can still read it. Your eyes. Adjust in 30 seconds. That adjustment saves you 10 to 15% per day. Dark mode on. If your phone has an OLED or a MOLED screen, black pixels are off. Pixels. They draw no power. Switch to dark mode. Settings. Display. Dark mode. Now your menus and backgrounds are black. Every black pixel is a pixel not draining you. Screen timeout to 15 seconds. Settings. Display. Screen timeout. 15 seconds. The screen shuts off faster. You turn it on only when you need to see it. Every second the screen is black is a second you are not bleeding. Auto brightness off. The sensor that adjusts brightness uses power and makes bad decisions. It cranks brightness in sunlight when you do not need it that bright. Turn it off. Control it manually. Disable always on display if your phone has it. Always on means always draining. Turn it off. You do not need to see the time and date every time you glance at your phone. Press the button. See the screen. Press again. Dark. Why it works. The display backlight is an array of LEDs or an electroluminescent matrix. Brightness correlates directly to current. Full brightness pulls 300 to 500 milliamps. Minimum brightness pulls 60 to 100 milliamps. Multiply that by the hours per day your screen is on, and you see the math. Cut the brightness by 80%, and you cut screen drain by 80%. Pro tip: read in sunlight. When you need to check something, step outside or move to a window. Sunlight makes the screen readable even at minimum brightness. Indoors at minimum brightness you squint. Outdoors you see fine. Shift your environment instead of your settings. Method 3. App purge and background kill. Your phone runs apps you are not using. They sync. They update. They fetch. They notify. They drain. Close all apps. Swipe up. View all running apps. Swipe them away. Everyone. If you are not actively in the app, it should not be running. Disable background app refresh. Settings. General or battery. Background app refresh. Off. Now, apps do not update themselves when you are not looking. They only run when you open them. Turn off notifications. Every notification wakes the screen, wakes the processor, burns power. Settings. Notifications. Go through the list. Turn off everything except the absolute essentials. Emergency alerts. Messages from family. Everything else is noise. Disable auto updates. Settings. App Store or Google Play. Auto update apps. Off. You do not need updates during a blackout. Updates burn data and processing and battery. Freeze your software. Delete or disable apps you do not need. Games. Social media. Streaming. Anything that is not communication, navigation, flashlight, or information. Long press the icon. Delete or disable. Fewer apps means fewer background processes. Why it works. Background processes wake the processor from sleep. Every wake event costs milliamps. An app that checks for updates every 10 minutes wakes the processor 6 times an hour. Multiply by 24 hours. That is 144 wake events per day per app. 10 apps. 1,440 wakes. Each one burns a few milliamp hours. Added up, and background apps cost you 15 to 25% of your battery over 7 days. Pro tip: use airplane mode as a master kill. When airplane mode is on, apps cannot access the network. They try once, fail, then stop trying. This forces even aggressive apps into dormancy. You control when they connect by controlling airplane mode. Method 4. Temperature control. Heat kills batteries. Keep your phone cool. Do not leave it in the sun. Do not leave it in a hot car. Do not charge it under a pillow. Do not run intensive tasks while it is warm. Ideal battery temperature is 50 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Below freezing, lithium slows down. You lose temporary capacity, but you do not damage the cells. Above 85, you start degradation. Above 100, you accelerate aging. Above 120, you risk failure. In winter, keep the phone inside your jacket against your body when outside. Body heat keeps it above freezing. Do not let it sit in a cold car overnight. Cold does not kill it, but it makes the battery sluggish. When you try to use it, the voltage sags and the phone thinks it is dead, even when charge remains. In summer, keep it in shade. Wrap it in a light cloth. Put it in the coolest room. Avoid use during peak heat. If the phone feels hot to the touch, stop using it. Let it cool. Heat during discharge accelerates, drain, and damage. Why it works. Lithium-ion chemistry is temperature sensitive. Higher temperatures increase internal resistance and self-discharge. A battery at 100 degrees loses 2% of its charge per day just sitting idle. A battery at 70 degrees loses 0.5% over 7 days. That is 14% versus 3.5%. Heat also degrades the electrolyte. The battery ages months and days. Pro tip: if you must charge and it is hot, charge in short bursts. 10 minutes on, 20 minutes off to cool. Repeat. Slow charging generates less heat than fast charging. If your phone supports it, disable fast charging during a crisis. Slower is cooler. Cooler is longer life. Safety line: if your phone swells, gets too hot to hold, or shows a bulging screen, stop using it immediately. Place it in a fireproof container away from flammable materials. Lithium batteries in thermal runaway can ignite. Do not charge a swollen battery. Do not puncture it. Evacuate it from your living space if safe to do so. Method 5. Manual throttle and low power mode. Your phone has a low power mode. Use it. It is not just for emergencies. It is for exactly the situation. Settings: battery, low power mode or battery saver. On. Low power mode reduces processor speed, disables background refresh, reduces visual effects, dims the screen slightly, and stops automatic downloads. It cuts performance by 20 to 30%. It cuts battery drain by 20 to 30%. You trade speed for time. Take the trade. On top of low power mode, throttle manually. Stop using the camera. Every photo uses processing and storage rights. Video is worse. The camera module and processor burn watts. If you need to document something, one photo, not 10. Not a video, one shot. Stop using the flashlight unless you must. The LED torch burns 200 to 400 milliamps. 5 minutes of flashlight equals an hour of standby. Use it for 10-second bursts. Find what you need. Off. Stop streaming anything. No music, no video, no live updates. Download critical information once. Read it offline. Streaming is continuous radio use and continuous screen use. It is the fastest way to drain. Turn off haptics. The vibration motor burns power. Settings, sounds and haptics. Vibration off. You do not need the phone to buzz. You can hear it ring. You can see notifications. Vibration is waste. Why it works. Every feature is a draw. The processor at full speed burns triple the power of the processor throttle. Visual effects like animations require GPU. Cycles. Background syncing requires radio time. Disable the extras and you strip the phone down to its core. Communication, information, light. The rest is luxury. Luxury costs battery. You do not have battery to spare. Pro tip: schedule phone use. Decide when you check messages. 9 a.m., noon, 6 p.m., 9 p.m., 4 times a day, 15 minutes each. Outside those windows, the phone stays in airplane mode, screen off, in your pocket. You batch your activity. Batching is efficient. Efficiency is survival. Method 6. External battery and solar trickle. If you have any external power, use it smart. A small portable power station or battery bank. Charge the phone once per day, maximum. Do not top it off constantly. Lithium batteries last longest when cycled between 20 and 80%. Drain your phone to 20%. Charge it to 80%. Stop. Disconnect. Charging generates heat. Heat degrades the battery. Partial charging reduces heat exposure. Fast charging generates more heat than slow. Use the slowest charger you have. A 5-watt charger is better than an 18-watt fast charger for longevity. If you have a small solar panel, 5 to 10 watts, you can trickle charge a battery bank. During the day, point it at the sun. Connect it to the bank. The bank charges slow. At night, you draw from the bank to top your phone. The loop continues. You are no longer dependent on a fixed reserve. You are harvesting. Even a tiny panel helps. A 5-watt panel in winter sun gives you 2 to 3 watts real output. Over 6 hours. That is 12 to 18 watt hours. Enough to add 5 to 10% to your phone. 5% times 7 days is 35%. That is the difference between dead on day 6 and alive on day 7. Why it works. External power extends your runway. Your phone battery is small, 3 to 4,000 milliamp hours, 12 to 15 watt hours. A 200 watt hour power station holds enough to recharge your phone 12 to 15 times. You stop worrying about the phone. You manage the station. The station has more capacity, more options, more resilience. Pro tip. Charge overnight if it is cold. Cold slows the charge but reduces heat stress. If daytime is warm and nighttime is cool, charge at night. Plug in before bed. Disconnect in the morning. The phone stays cool. The battery stays healthy. Safety line. Do not charge your phone in a sealed bag or under bedding. Charging generates heat. Heat needs ventilation. Charge on a hard surface in open air. Keep the charging cable and port clean. Lint and debris cause resistance. Resistance causes heat. Inspect and clean before every charge cycle. Counterintuitive. Here is the flip. Do not turn the phone off. You think powering down saves battery. It is off. It is not using anything. When you need it, you turn it back on. Wrong. Turning a phone off and on burns power. The boot sequence wakes every system, loads the operating system, initializes radios, authenticates, connects. The first 3 minutes after boot are high drain. The processor runs hard. The screen is on. The radios search and sync. If you power off and power on twice a day, you burn more than leaving the phone in airplane mode standby. Airplane mode standby pulls 1 to 3 milliamps over 24 hours. That is 24 to 72 milliamp hours. 2 to 5% of your battery. A full boot cycle pulls 300 to 600 milliamps for 3 minutes. That is 15 to 30 milliamp hours per boot. Do it twice, and you spend 30 to 60 milliamp hours. Same cost as standby, but now you have the added risk of a failed boot or a system that refuses to sleep properly after restart. The smarter move is airplane mode, screen off, low power mode on. The phone sleeps. Everything is suspended. Wake events are minimal. You check it when you need it. The rest of the time it sips power so slowly you barely notice. The counterintuitive truth is this. Standby beats off. Sleep beats shutdown. Discipline beats power cycling. If you are not going to use the phone for 72 hours or more, then power it off. Otherwise leave it on and manage it. Putting it together. 7 days. 1 charge. It is possible. Day 1. You start at 68%. You kill all radios except cellular. Cellular goes to airplane mode. You dim the screen to minimum. You enable low power mode. You close all apps. You disable background refresh and notifications. You check messages twice, morning and evening, 5 minutes each. You end the day at 56%, 12% used. You are on track. Day 2. You stay disciplined. Airplane mode except for check-ins. Screen dark. No streaming. No photos. No flashlight unless critical. You text family. 20 words. Status update. You read saved articles offline. You end the day at 45%. 11% used. Still good. Day 3. You feel the temptation. You want to scroll. You want distraction. You resist. You take a walk instead. The phone stays in your pocket in airplane mode. You check in once. Evening. 3 minutes. You end the day at 36%. 9% used. You are ahead of schedule. Day 4. The boredom is worse than the blackout. Everyone around you is dead. Their phones are black bricks. You still have power. You do not tell them. OPSEC. You check messages. One text in. A friend asking for help charging. You say your phone is almost dead too. You lie. You preserve your edge. You end at 28%. 8% used. Day 5. You are in the groove. The phone is a tool, not a toy. You use it when needed. The rest of the time it does not exist. You navigate to a supply point using maps for 4 minutes. GPS on. Find the route. Screenshot it. GPS off. Navigate by screenshot. You end at 21%. 7% used. Day 6. You are running lean. 21%. You ration harder. 1 check-in. Morning. 2 minutes. You do not open anything else. You read a paperback instead. Remember those. You end at 15%. 6% used. Day 7. 15%. Enough. You make it. The power comes back at 4 p.m. You plug in. You survived a week on 2/3 of a charge because you controlled the bleed. Most people could not do it. Most people do not know how their phone works. They know how to use it. They do not know how it burns. You know now. Radios. Computation. Heat. Kill the radios. Throttle the computation. Control the heat. Discipline beats capacity. Method beats battery size. A phone managed well outlasts a phone used thoughtlessly by 4 to 1. The same device. The same charge. Different outcome. The difference is you. When the power dies, your phone is intelligence. It is communication. It is coordination. It is the difference between knowing what is happening and being blind. Keep it alive. Keep it quiet. Keep it cold. Check in on schedule. The rest of the time it sleeps. Do not stream your survival away. Do not scroll into the dark. Every tap costs you. Every swipe bleeds you. Treat every percent like the resource it is. Because when you hit 0, you are alone. Ration the light. Control the radios. Own the method.